Okay, no problem, no problem, no problem. It's okay. Let's start the class. So,
Okay, sir.
okay. So, today I will actually, yesterday I had gone through certain chapters like mm, your annelids, platyhelminthes, and the nematodes. Today I will go with the last remaining three chapters of classification. That is, I will go mollusk, arthropoda, and echinodermata. So, start with. Let us first let's go with a uh, small YouTube video. Let us see a YouTube video before we uh, get into my class. So because since we are doing it in online, we can take advantage of YouTube over here. So let us see what are arthropods.
Good grammar and spelling are important, but if you want to write essays that inspire,
Kingdom Animalia, Phylum Arthropoda, and Phylum Echinodermata. Of all living phyla, Arthropoda is the largest phylum with more than 9 lakh known species. This is the oldest and most biologically successful group. Arthropods occur in all habitats, almost everywhere in the world. They are bilaterally symmetrical, segmented animals. The body of arthropods is divided into a head and a trunk. The trunk may be divided into a thorax and an abdomen, as found in the case of insects. In some animals such as crabs, the thorax fuses with the head, and thus their body is divided into the cephalothorax and the abdomen. The body of arthropods is covered with an exoskeleton made of chitin, which is very hard. This exoskeleton is shed periodically in the course of their growth, and the process is known as ecdysis or molting. Arthropods have an open circulatory system. Their body contains a cavity called hemocoel, which surrounds the body organs. The heart pumps blood into this hemocoel so that the blood bathes the organs. The respiratory organs found in arthropods are gills in aquatic forms, while trachea or book lungs in terrestrial forms. The excretion takes place by coelomoducts or by Malpighian tubules. The nervous system of arthropods is well developed and is like the one found in annelids. It consists of a cerebral ganglion attached to a pair of ventral nerve cord with the help of a nerve ring surrounding the pharynx. Arthropods also show the presence of an endocrine system. Insects communicate through pheromones, which are secreted by the endocrine system. In arthropods, the sexes are separate. They are oviparous in nature, which means that they lay eggs. Scorpions are an exception to this fact, as they are viviparous. Arthropods have well-developed sense organs, such as antennae, to perceive sense of touch, a statocyst, an organ of balance, taste receptors located in their feet, and photoreceptors in the eyes to perceive light. Phylum Arthropoda is divided into 5 classes: Crustacea, Chilopoda, Diplopoda, Insecta, and Arachnida. Class Crustacea includes a wide range of animals, mostly aquatic. They show great variation in form and the presence of carapace. exoskeleton, and compound eye. Some examples are Daphnia, water flea, and Astacus, crayfish. Class Chilopoda includes centipedes. Their body consists of numerous pairs of legs. There is always one pair per segment. They also show the presence of a pair of poison claws. Class Diplopoda includes millipedes. Their body consists of numerous leg-bearing segments with 2 pairs of legs per segment. Class Insects is the largest group of terrestrial animals. They occupy every possible habitat. They have an extra ability to adapt to changes in the environment. Their mouth parts, such as mandibles and maxillae, are modified for various modes of feeding. They show the presence of pupal stage, that is, an incubation stage in their life cycle. This stage survived during unfavorable environmental conditions. Some very common examples of insects are ants, cockroaches, mosquitoes, and butterflies. Arachnida, the last class under the phylum Arthropoda, includes spiders and scorpions and is known for 8-legged arthropods. Their body is separated into a cephalothorax and an abdomen. Arachnids breathe in through book lungs or trachea. Most of the flying insects act as pollinating agents and help flowers to cross-pollinate. Arthropods, such as crabs, prawns, serve as delicious seafood which people like to eat. But several insects are serious pests that destroy crops worth billions of rupees. Termites cause damage to timber, houses and furniture. Parasites such as lice, fleas and mosquitoes spread diseases in humans and animals. For example, mosquitoes are vectors of malaria. The last phylum that comes under Invertebrata is Echinodermata. Echinoderms are marine organisms living at the bottom of the sea. The phylum includes starfish, brittle stars, and sea urchins. Echinoderm adults are radially symmetrical, but the larval stage shows bilateral symmetry. They exhibit organ system level of body organization as it is differentiated into oral and aboral surfaces. They do not have a proper circulatory system, but a water vascular system through which the sea water circulates in their body. This system opens into the tube feet, which are used for locomotion and food collection. Respiration occurs through gills or papillae, protruding from the dermis or by the tube feet. In echinoderms, sexes are separate. The development shows the presence of a ciliated bilaterally symmetrical, free-swimming larva. The basic larval form of echinoderms is diplurular larva. Phylum Echinodermata is divided into 4 main classes: Asteroidea, Ophiuroidea, Echinoidea, and Holotheroidea. Class Asteroidea includes starfish.
For just $67, you can make as many videos as you want, and you never need to pick up a camera.
Their body is flattened with 5 radiating arms. The life cycle of starfish shows the presence of bipinnarea larva, which develops into a starfish through a process. The second class, named Ophiuroidea, includes brittle stars. Their body is also flattened with 5 radiating arms which are long, slender and flexible. Their life cycle shows the presence of ophioplateous larvae. Class Echinoidea includes sea urchins. Their body is oval-shaped and enclosed in a tube made of calcareous material. The arms are absent and they show the presence of echinoplateous larvae in their life cycle. Class Holothuroidea includes Holothuria or sea cucumbers. Their body is cylindrical and elongated while the arms are absent. Their life cycle shows the stage of auricularia larva. Echinoderms are also of a great commercial importance. The dried and powdered skeleton of starfish is used as a calcium fertilizer.
So anyway, let us now start with our class. Let's first we must start with phylum Arthropoda. So I will be opening my note. So as the video said, phylum Arthropoda is the most diverse group of animals living in our planet. They have adapted to different modes of life. They are underwater, they are flying in the air, they are on in forests, they are in deserts, they are in jungles, they are in cities. They are useful, they are pests, they cause diseases, they remove, they cure us from diseases. I mean, they have you can imagine anything about life, you will find an arthropod is definitely present over there. So the word arthropod means jointed feet. Their feet is jointed. So their feet is jointed. So the first thing is jointed feet. So let us look at a picture of a jointed feet. So you look at this picture, you will see that their feet we will have a look at the feet. So you can see the jointed. Why do they mean by jointed feet? So this is a leg of an insect or an arthropod. You can see it has got different joints. This is one joint over here, another joint over here. So several joints. This is the tarsus region, then you have a tibia region, this is the femur region, and you have the trochanter, they have the coaxa, then the real body of the insect comes. So they are jointed. That is the meaning there. This is what you mean by jointed feet. Therefore they are arthropods. So a pair of externally jointed appendages present in each segment. Body is externally covered by a thick, tough chitinous cuticle forming the exoskeleton. So their body outside, from the outside, is covered. Think about a cockroach, or think about a prawn, or a lobster, or a crab. See, outer covering is a hard covering. Even a cockroach, outer covering is a hard covering. It's a carbohydrate known as chitin. It's a structural carbohydrate known as chitin. It covers. If found in animals. So these are the main two characteristics are their appendages are jointed in each segment, and body is externally covered by thick and tough chitinous cuticle, and it forms the exoskeleton. So in the video you had seen that there are different classes they mentioned, but for you people have to read the classification as given in R.D. Barnes 1994. You have to read Rupert R.D. Barnes's classification 1994. So phylum Arthropoda, subphylum Trilobita, subphylum 1 trilobites, the trilobites, they are extinct, so you don't need to study them. You don't need to study their characteristic features of these trilobites because they are extinct. You have to study only the living ones which are present. Then you have the subphylum Chelicerata. The subphylum Chelicerata includes Merostomata, Arachnida, and the Pycnogonida. The Pycnogonidans are sea spiders. Arachnids are the normal, the terrestrial spiders. So they have got chelicerae as imagine Chelicerata. They have got their first appendages. They have got pincer-like structures. Chelicerae. They cut like this, chelicerates. Then you have the next big phylum known as the Subphylum Crustacea. They include the Remipedia, Cephalocarida, Brachiopoda, These are the different classes. You don't need to remember all of them because you won't be able to remember. Just the important ones which I have written in this 2 pages note for arthropod classification. Just study this note which I have given. I think that should be good enough for your exams or for whatever, for your competitive exams also, because it is not possible to remember all of them. So you have all these groups of them. Cirripedia, Malacostraca is the most important. You have to understand the characteristics of Malacostracans because your prawns and crabs and all, they are all the Malacostracans. They belong to the class Malacostracans. Copepods also are important because you study several copepods. These are important to study. Then you have the next subphylum, which is the Uniramia. Includes Chilopoda, the chilopods which they mentioned in the video, the symphylans, the diplopods, the pauropods, and the insects are the hexapods. The insects are hexapods because they have 6 legs or 3 pairs of thoracic legs. So this is the Rupert and Barnes 1994. 1994 Rupert and Barnes classification. So whenever the question comes in your examination about this classification, don't forget to mention about classification according to Rupert and Barnes 1994. You have to write the author of the classification scheme. The name has to be given, otherwise they will start deducting marks. Or in any competitive exams, you have to always write about this. Otherwise, your answer is not complete. So let us talk about the subphylum crustaceans. Among the crustaceans, The head bears 5 pair of appendages, which comprises of 2 pairs of antenna and 2 pairs of maxillae. Imagine the and there are 2 pairs of antenna. 2 pair means 4 antenna. Prawns have got 4 antenna, 2 large one and 1 smaller one, antennules, and 2 pairs of maxilla. The first segment, maxilla is a mouth part, maxilla from the outside. That is the maxilla, and that they have got 2 pairs of maxilla and 2 pairs of antenna, and the respiration takes through gills in crustaceans, because most of them belong to they are marine. They live in the waters. There are some fresh waters also. Then you have the brachiopods. Trunk appendages are flattened leaf-like structure. They are flat and they are leaf-like structures. The coaxa is with a flattened epipod. So let us now look at an arthropod leg. How it looks like. Then possibly it will be easy for you people to understand. So, look at a crustacean. Head is covered by a carapace. The head and the thorax, they are fused and they form the cephalothorax. This region is the cephalothorax. Compound eye is present. Antenna is present, long antenna and short antenna. So there are 4 antenna, 2 pairs. The first few are known as maxillipeds. Then you have 5 pairs of walking legs. Then you have swimming legs or pleuropods, which are present after in the abdomen region. And then in the end you have the uropod, tailson, 2 uropods and a tailson. They are the other appendages which are present in the end. So these are the appendages of a crustacean. And let us look at what a maxilla is. If you look at this is an insect. What is the maxilla? So this mouth part which is present over here is the maxilla. Outside is the mandible. This is the labrum and below is the labium. So these are the mouth parts basically. So coaxa is let us see what is coaxa. I will show you a picture. Coaxa arthropods. I will show you the picture. Coaxa trochanter. Coaxa. So this is the coaxa. Body, coaxa, trochanter, femur, tibia, tarsus. So the first segment which comes out is the coaxa. Coaxa is provided with a flattened epipod. So it is flat. Coaxa is flat. They are the brachiopods. Then the cirripedians like Saculina. The body is enclosed within a bivalve carapace. Carapace is the outer covering. This is how it looks. Then the most important class is the Malacostracans or the Macrobrachium. এটা হচ্ছে গলদা চিংড়ি. Body comprises of head and 8 segmented thorax and 6 segmented abdomen. The posterior thoracic limbs being walking legs. The first 5 pairs of abdominal ones forming swimming organs. I had shown you pleuropods. The abdominal legs are for swimming. They are the pleuropods or the swimmerets or swimming organs. The swimming legs are present in this region. So these are the characteristic features. Remember, at least 2 characteristic features you must study. As many as you can study is better. The best is as many as you can remember, that is best. But at least 2 of them you have to study, and you have to have at least 2 scientific names you have to study. And please mention the name also. Shreyas has perhaps once asked me this question before. How many points do we need to study? As many as possible. But at least be sure that you remember 2 of the most important characteristics. Okay. Malacostraca has got the Macrobrachium, Hippa, Squilla, Cancer. Cancer is nothing but, it's not the cancer, it is crab. Kakra, crab. Then you have the uniramians. Appendages are uniramians, ramus. They are not bifurcated. Single. Uniramus. So, first are the diplopodons. Julus. Kenno. This is Julus. These are the 2 characters which you have to remember. Then the insects. Wow, you have to read it. Main characteristic feature of insect is 3 pairs of thoracic legs. Body divided into head, thorax and abdomen. 3 pairs of thoracic legs. 3 pairs of thoracic legs. 2 pairs of wings, one outside and one inside, internal wings. Antenna, 2 pairs, 1 pair of antenna. You have mouth parts. Abdomen has got segments. So this is how presence of compound eyes. These are the important characteristics of insects, class Insecta you have to read. Then you have to read about the Cheliceratas. Example, class Merostomata limulus, hermit crab. Prosoma is this part, leading part of the body. Prosoma, ophistosoma. Prosoma, metasoma, ophistosoma. The first part is known as the prosoma, the next part is known as the mesosoma, and the one in the end is known as ophistosoma. In the end there is a tailson, spine like this comes out from behind. Then the spiders or the arachnids, 8 pairs of legs, 4 pairs of thoracic legs. Scorpion, spiders, they are all arachnids. So with this I end Arachnida. Let us go now to Echinoderms. We will be studying Echinoderms. I have passed you this. This is from a book which I and Pankaj sir had written. The scheme of classification according to R.D. Barnes. You have to read 1994. up to classes. They are all the same. So what are echinoderms? Echinoderms, the word echinus. Let us see what are echinoderms. The starfish. If you see, these starfishes are the echinoderms. The word echinus means they have got thorns on their body, spines on their body. Therefore, echinus, the word echinoderm has come. Derm means the skin covered by the thorns or spines. Therefore, they are called echinoderms. A characteristic feature which I will explain you in our class, that is the water vascular system of echinoderms. That is the characteristic features. They have got tube feet. Now what is a tube feet? Let us see what a tube feet is. If you see the leg of an echinoderm, you see, I will repeat this once more. From the leg, you see, these are the tube feet which are moving about. This is a characteristic feature of all echinoderms. They have got these little tube feet coming. So have a look at how a starfish moves about. The stupid YouTube ads coming up. Have a look at a proper video of echinoderms.
Sea stars might look harmless, cute even, lounging around in tide pools, showing off their pretty colors. But no, they're actually hunters, voracious predators that scour the oceans for prey. Ooh, what's that delicious smell? Mussels. Sea stars, also called starfish, don't have a nose. They sniff with their feet. They have hundreds, sometimes thousands of feet running along their undersides from their mouth to the tips of their flexible arms. What they don't have is a brain. So how do they figure out which way to go to find a meal? Well, they leave that up to their feet too. See the long, skinny ones on the ends? They're extra sensitive. A few of them start creeping towards the smell of the mussel. They move using an elaborate system that harnesses the most plentiful resource around, seawater. The sea star pulls water in through a sieve plate on its topside and pumps it down its arms. It fills these bulb-shaped ampullae. Each individual ampulla is connected to a tube foot. Together, the foot and ampulla look kind of like an eyedropper. A disc at the end of the foot clamps onto surfaces around it. Not by suction, like you might expect, but by secreting strong, sticky glue. The ampullae squeeze water into the tube feet, extending them like long balloons. When the tube feet contract, they drag the whole starfish along with them and push water back up into the ampullae. Then the disc secretes other chemicals to let go. A single tube foot isn't so strong on its own, but a whole army of them provides some serious grip. Check this out. You can see a few tube feet get a whiff of that savory muscle. They start crawling towards it. Eventually, this whole arm gets going. Whichever arm pulls the hardest takes the lead. As the sea star builds speed, it takes on an adorable little bounce. It's the sea star's version of a gallop. Instead of just dragging themselves along, the tube feet stiffen, lifting the star up mid-stride and then vaulting forward. No one tube foot is setting the pace. When you're all connected to the same starfish, it's just easier to move when your neighbor moves. When they get going like this, they also skip the glue to stay light on their feet. It's called an emergent pattern, order from chaos. No brain required. Each of these little tube feet has a fierce independence streak. But the success of starfish in oceans the whole world over shows us that sometimes it's best to just go with the flow. Did you know about starfish's other tube-footed relatives, like sea urchins and sand dollars? Also, PBS Digital Studios has a new science series.
When we think dinosaurs, we tend to think of the animals of the Cretaceous.
Now look about another of these echinoderms.
All alone in a vast emptiness. A baby sea urchin, a Pluteus. Blind and deaf, its sole purpose is to find the right place to land. Here's what it'll become: an adult sea urchin. Basically, a rugged ball of spines, built to survive some of the harshest environments in the ocean. Like their cousins, the sea stars and sand dollars, sea urchins have little tube feet. They use them to move around and pull kelp into their mouths. And between their spines are pincers called pedicellariae that they use to groom themselves. Each spring, males release clouds of sperm, and females release huge numbers of eggs. A tiny percentage of them find each other in the open ocean. The fertilized egg grows and eventually hatches. An embryo swims for its life. As it grows, it takes on the shape of a little lunar lander. It can swim for weeks or months like this, covering huge distances, feeding on algae along the way. Meanwhile, a microscopic adult urchin is growing inside its own teenage self. The Pluteus needs to land somewhere before the adult inside it grows too big. The ocean currents drag it toward shore and into the pounding surf. That turbulence, plus the smell of tasty kelp, lets the Pluteus know it's time. It stops swimming. It falls to the seafloor. Then something really weird happens. From inside, tube feet reach out. It pulls itself inside out like a sock. Here's a sand dollar doing the same thing. A miniature adult emerges. And then, after so much change and tumult, time kind of stands still. Unless an urchin is eaten or gets sick, it can grow for centuries. Having survived the long odds of youth, it's now practically immortal. Hey, this is Amy. Check out more of our ocean stories, like this one, about how pygmy seahorses make themselves nearly invisible. Or
Okay, so let us go back to our echinoderms. So we have seen what these echinoderms are. They can be classified into the class Stelloroidea. Okay, do you people have any questions in between? Please feel free to ask. Anybody questions? Pritodip?
No, sir.
Shreyas?
No, sir.
Okay. Neha, Alshifa, Nisab? Questions? Anybody?
No, sir.
Okay, okay.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Neha also doesn't have questions. Okay, let's go ahead with the echinoderms. We will deal with mollusk the next day. Let's finish echinoderms today. So, class Stelloroidea. This includes asteroids, the brittle stars. You have the sea stars and the brittle stars. So let us have a look at the picture. So if you see, this is a brittle star. These are drawn by me. So this is a starfish, sea star, and this is a brittle star. You see, the body is like a star, like it goes on like this. If you see the outline of the body, pentamerous, and it has the body is like this, and these are little outgrowths coming up like this. These are brittle arms essentially. The feet over here, they have got their tube feet present. The tube feet are present like this. But here the tube feet is only present in the central disc. It is sharply delineated as a central disc over here. This you can see E is an Echinoidea, class Echinoidea. They have got spines all over their body. This is another one. This is a sea cucumber, Holothuroidea. They have got less spines all over their body, sea cucumber. And you have the sea lilies, Antedon. So basically you have it like this. You have 5 arms moving like this, and you have tube feet here, Crinoidea or the sea lilies. These are the basically you can divide them like this. You have to know what the so class Echinoderm, they are known as the sea urchins, the video which we had seen, and the sand dollars. They have got spines all over the body. The next class is the class Holothuroidea or the sea cucumbers. They look like a shosha, खीरा जैसा दिखता है. They look like sea cucumbers. They have got mouth, tail, and they have got tube feet also present. The tube feet are come out from this region, and they have got very less spines present all over their body. It's more or less smooth. This is how the sea cucumbers they look like. And the sea lilies which I have drawn. Let's see my drawing over here. This is a sea lily or Antedon. 5. The arms in pairs of multiples of 5. This is a sea cucumber. This is a sea Ophiopluteus or brittle star, and this is also another Echinus. Cucumaria. See, another sea cucumber. This is how they look like. So with this I end my sharing over here, and if you people have got any questions, please do ask questions, and then I will end my class. Pritodip, kono question ache? Shreyas, question?
No sir, no sir.
Okay. नेहा, question है कोई?
No, sir.
Okay, बाकी किसी को question नहीं है तो? Okay, okay then. I end my class over here. I will tell you the next class in the WhatsApp group. Possibly on the 4th or 5th I will take another class.
Okay, sir.
And then I will tell you offline class after I understand what is the situation. Then I will start the offline class. Maybe from the 10th or 15th, because I may be in Calcutta for up to Saraswati Puja. I'll be in Calcutta most probably with my parents, because there is an urgent work over there. Maybe, but if college reopens, then we will have it over here only. I will not go to Calcutta then. Then we will have offline classes. But then say up from the 15th onwards, we will have offline classes. And as well as online, offline both. We will mix up together. Okay then, bye. Have a nice evening.
Okay, sir.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye.